All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time we are going to check and see how we can solve this problem. And I'm going to show you not one, not two, but 3 different ways of doing it.
Cool.
Realize. 3 different ways? Why there's so many ways? Well, everybody has unique skills in here, and everybody has different perspectives. So, one way of approaching a problem like this is some people remember the formula for density. Okay? Now, the formula for density, what is the formula for density that some of you remember? Okay? Mass divided by volume. Well, let's see, here we go. See if I can get this to appear. Okay, so density is mass over volume. Okay, that's one formula. Now, some people, it's easy to memorize, they can remember that, they can just go from there, plug in the numbers, and be good to go. Some people don't like that as much, and so they use a formula that looks like this. Now, for those of you that are exceptionally mathematical gifted, you know that this formula is the same thing, just rearranged. Just an algebra step. Now, for others of you, you don't want to do any algebra. So I'm going to show you a way to do it with no algebra. So, formula, no algebra, and the last step here, which is for some people the easiest way to approach any chemistry problem, is what's called proportions. In chemistry, there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of ratios. So the cool thing about the ratios is all you have to do is identify what you have in the problem and what you want in the problem. So on any given problem, you're going to be given numbers with units, and it'll tell you what you have and what you want. In this case, you have the 25.02 milliliters. You also have the density, which is equal to 0.919 grams per 1 milliliter. What do you want in this problem? What's it asking you to find? The mass. Now, what unit do you think the mass will be in if you had to guess? Okay, got to be in grams. It didn't ask for any specific unit, just asked for mass. If it said mass in grams, it would have to be in grams. If it said mass in kilograms, it would have to be in what? Kilograms. And I'm going to show you how you could do that with, again, 3 different techniques. But first technique here is what I have, I write down first. I've got 25.02 milliliters. With this technique called proportions, you write down what you want on the bottom. I want grams on the bottom. I put an X in here for what I want. So this technique is have over 1. Then I set this equal to a proportion that I already know. A proportion is just a ratio. The ratio that I know is the density. So all I need to do is put milliliters on top and grams on the bottom. In this case, the number that goes with grams is this 0.919. And the number that goes with milliliters, well, there is no number here. Anytime you have a unit without a number, it is assumed that the number is 1. So the cool thing about that is I got that many grams per milliliter, per 1 milliliter. The 1 goes right here. Then we've got a proportion set up, and this is all the math you got to do is cross multiply. X equals 25.02 times 0.919. And I'm going to omit the units because proportion people don't have to worry about the units because it's already done for you. You multiply those 2 numbers together, you get 22.99 grams as your answer. Okay? One way of doing it. Way number 1. Okay? Now, how many of you did it a different way? Raise your hand. All right.
Wait, different from the 3 or different from the first one?
Different from this one right here. I'm sorry, just different from this one right here? Okay? All right? Keep your hand up if you can tell me how you did it. Yes, sir?
I just did mass is equal to density times volume.
Okay, you just did mass is equal to density times volume. So you did this technique right here, right? Okay? So all you did is plug in the numbers. For mass, we had unknown. Density was the 0.919, right?
Yes.
Grams per milliliter. And the volume was the, I can't remember, 25, right?
25.02.
There we go. And you'll notice here you got these units multiply those two numbers together and you get your answer of 22.99. Okay, excellent. Okay, anyone else use that technique? Different one? Yeah.
Should we leave it as 22.99 or change it to 23.2?
Oh, on this one here, we can leave it as 22.99 round to the hundredth place. You do not have to use any rules on these. Rounding the hundredth place is just fine. Usually we're just going to leave it as is for now. And then we'll talk about rounding a little bit later. Yes, sir?
Can you see where you're writing on that screen on that black pad, or you just kind of have to like guesstimate? Like how do you know you're not writing those?
Actually, it's a tablet. If you compare it close enough, doesn't it show you on the screen?
Yeah, I've got a screen. I got a screen
Yeah,
here.
no, I saw that, but like, if that pad is just blank, how do you know you're not going to write over yourself?
A little practice. Yeah, it's just practice. It's really weird at first. At first, I couldn't even read what I was writing,
Yeah.
and I was like, it was all big or weird or small or super. You know, I mean, I don't write clearly anyways, but I mean, but I hope you can see it. And this will be on YouTube as well. So our little conversation. You want me to cut it out or keep it in?
No, keep it.
I'll keep it in. Okay. Yeah. So the engineering part of it, don't really know. It'd be cool if it appeared here. Yeah, I agree. That would be awesome.
There is a tablet on the Welcome 21
Nice. Christmas presents? Yeah.
2000.
2,000. That's it. I can afford that. That's like my whole salary. All right. Anyone else? Oh no. Never mind. I do have
That
two.
might need to come off of YouTube.
That, yeah, I don't need to tell you my salary of $2,000. All right, so next one with no algebra. Okay, people sometimes love to memorize formulas. Sometimes people like to do proportions. Both of those ways are awesome. They work great. Okay, I tend to forget formulas, and proportions for some reason I sometimes make a mistake on. The reason why is algebra and me don't always get along. So if you're the type of person you're like, hey, I don't really like algebra. Like, I'm a real math person, but I know some people, they don't like algebra at all. They don't even want to deal with numbers at all. Unfortunately, there are some numbers in chemistry, but there's also this thing called a calculator. So the cool thing is if you don't want to do the math, your calculator and using no algebra, this is the way to do it. This is what I call the no algebra technique. Now, this technique involves a little bit of a story. And once upon a time, there was this blue engine. And this blue engine was trying to carry the toys over a mountain. And as that blue engine was trying to carry the toys over the mountain, it had a little bit of trouble, but all it had to do was say, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Now, if you've never read that story, you may also know of Thomas the Train. Okay? Some people love Thomas the Train when they're 3 years old. If you don't like him anymore, that's okay. But this is what I call the Choo-Choo train method. The thing about the Choo-Choo train method is you have something and you want to get to something else. So to do this, you're going to use a train track. Choo-choo! Now, I call it a choo-choo train. It might be a monorail. I don't know. I can't remember. I think you got two things. But the choo-choo train works pretty well. All you have to do is write down what you have. So in this case, we had 25.02 milliliters, I believe. And what we wanted to get was well, how many grams is that equal to? Okay. So to do this in the Choo-Choo method, I got milliliters on top. The cool thing about the Choo-Choo method is all you got to do is if you don't have a unit on the bottom, you just put a 1 here. Okay. No unit, just put a 1. Then the next thing you check is, what unit do I have on the top? So what unit's on the top? ml. Now I have no idea what that is because I've never learned about ml. Wait, maybe you guys do know milliliters. I don't know. I'll just write it down. This technique works really well when you have no idea what the units are. Okay? Just telling you. Modern physics, when you're dealing with picometers and you're like, I'm not sure how to convert this right now. I've never heard of a picometer. You're like, ah. Or when you're dealing with other strange units. So, milliliters. Now, you put milliliters on the bottom. That's what you have. So the have units go on the bottom. The units you want go on the top. So what unit do we want? We want grams. So I put that unit on the top. Then I look back at the problem. I know that 0.919 grams per 1 milliliter is the density. So I really quickly look at the G. What number is next to G? 0.919. What number is next to milliliters? 1. I just put them in there. I match them up exactly the way they're written with the unit they're written with. Don't mix up the numbers and units. Then I've got milliliters over milliliters. 1 over 1 equals what? 1. 2 over 2 equals what? Dog over dog equals what? 1. Crazy thing about math is if you got the same thing on the top and the bottom, they do what? Turn into 1, or they also are called, they cancel out. You may have used this before in math. You're like, it's the same on top and bottom, I can cancel it. If it's multiplication or division, right? You guys remember that? You may not remember it. That's okay. If you don't remember it, you guess what? That's all the math you have to think about. You're like, oh, I don't remember that, but I'll accept it. That's cool. They cancel out. The milliliters and the milliliters cancels out. Bam, bam, you're left with grams. You then put an equals sign. You multiply what's on the top, and you divide by what's on the bottom. So 25.02 times 0.919 equals the same answer we got before, hopefully, the 22.99 grams. Okay? Some of you are like, it's like almost the same thing. Yeah, it's just without the algebra. You don't have to do the cross multiplication. It takes up less space. Now, the really, 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 really cool thing about this is, what if you had to get it into kilograms? There's a relationship between grams and kilograms. You look that up, you see, oh, wait a minute. Okay, let's say I wanted to get it into kilograms. Okay? All you have to do is you look up here. There are, in 1 kilogram, there are 1,000 grams. So what you do is before you even do the math on your calculator, you just do 25.02 times 0.919 equals, and then divide it by 1,000 equals, and this obviously is going to equal a smaller number for the kilograms, 0.02299 kilograms. It's a different problem, okay? But if you've already got it set up, you can just extend it. What if you wanted it in pounds instead of kilograms? Could we do another thing? Another train track? Yeah, another train track. What if we wanted it, I don't know, let me see, in tons? Can we do another train track? Yep, we could keep going and going like almost forever. Now, once you get past like 1 or 2 steps, this is a great technique. If it's only 1 step, some of you are like, I did this in like 5 seconds, but I'm going to waste my time. That's okay. Don't worry. But if you don't like algebra, this will save your life in here. Or if you just want to be faster than everybody else. That's the fastest. Not that you're competitive or anything, but if you want to be fast. It is the strangest for most people at this age, though. It is the why would you do this? Most people say that. But the cool thing is it pays off later as well. So these are some things, some ways of doing it. You've got proportions. Okay, you've got the no algebra technique, you've got the formula technique. Do I care which way you do it? No. If you do it all in your head, you have to show something on your paper. Just to show you're doing something. So if you do it all in your head, you're like, I did it all in my head. That's great. But you're going to have to show some sort of work to get credit when you are answering a free response question. Yes?
So on a quiz will never be like, solve it this way?
No way. No way. I used to do that. I used to say, you have to do it this way and never do it. No! Because whenever you're told you have to do something one way, what do you do? A different way. You're like, oh, I'm not doing it that way. No way. Like your mom says, you have to clean your room. Oh, geez, you want to go clean the kitchen? Right? You don't want to clean your room. No, you never do that? No. Or you procrastinate. You start doing laundry instead of cleaning your room. Yeah. Or you got to do your homework and you procrastinate and you like clean your whole room up. It's really weird how that happens. So that's just me. All right. So these are the cool things about density, and density will help us with other concepts that we learn later on. So that's the cool thing about density and how we can use it. Now, we learned about density yesterday. For many of you, actually you learned about density yesterday. Many of you also learned about matter. The notes here, if you didn't get